breaking news is part of this job. And for us news junkies, it's our favorite part. In over 20 years, World News Now has seen its fair share.
Hello from Madison Square Garden in New York, the site of the Democratic National Convention. I'm Aaron Brown.
And I'm Lisa McCree, 30 blocks uptown. Forecasters say Hurricane Andrew is one of the most dangerous tropical storms to threaten the continental United States this century.
One more night of hoopla and hand-holding for Bill Clinton before he gets down to the serious business of running this country.
Well, the next stop for Yasser Arafat is New York. He goes to the UN today to talk to the Secretary General about how the UN can help implement the new agreement for limited Palestinian self-rule.
At least 31 people are confirmed dead in yesterday's car bomb attack, including a dozen children. Some 200 people remain unaccounted for.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder.
For the first time in almost 16 months, O.J. Simpson is spending a night at home in freedom.
As you've probably heard, she died in a car crash in Paris yesterday. And many in Britain and around the world are overcome by grief.
After his impeachment on Saturday, President Clinton vowed to continue doing his job. Yesterday, he attended church. Today, he volunteers at a soup kitchen. Behind the scenes, however, the administration is preparing for a possible Senate trial.
This was the scene this afternoon at Littleton High School just outside of Denver. Chaos as two heavily armed young men, now identified as students, entered the school and began a bloody rampage.
The Coast Guard official in charge of the search operation says he has placed two very difficult phone calls, one to the Kennedys, the other to the Bissetts. This after hope ended of finding John or Caroline Kennedy or Lauren Bissett alive.
For the first time in 7 months, Elian Gonzalez is waking up this morning in Cuba. Cuban officials say the boy will spend the next few weeks with his family and classmates at a boarding school in Havana. Then they will all return to their hometown.
After 5 weeks of often bruising political and legal wrangling, this historic presidential election ended last night on two notes of civility. NASCAR superstar Dale Earnhardt is being remembered as one of the greats in auto racing history. His death completely overshadowed the finish of the Daytona 500.
Well, for those of you just joining us, this is ABC's continuing live coverage of the terrorist attack on the United States. I'm Derek McGinty. And at this hour, emergency crews are still sifting through the tons of rubble looking for victims of the World Trade Center attack. And as the rescue efforts here and at the Pentagon continue around the clock, so does the search for those who did this.
We begin this morning with breaking news. A Continental Express plane slams into a house in upstate New York, then bursts into flames. There are at least 4 dozen deaths.
We begin this morning with that developing story from West Virginia. A coal mine explosion has killed at least 25 workers.
Mine safety officials say it appears that methane gas caused the explosion, just as in the Sago disaster 4 years ago.
Breaking news, a violent earthquake off Japan's northeast coast has rocked the nation and the region.
A tsunami has flooded coastal areas of Japan, with warnings now posted in Hawaii and as far away as Chile and Peru.
The mission to kill bin Laden was carried out by Navy SEALs in a city not far from the capital of Pakistan.
President Obama broke the news late last night to the world.
It is amazing, the awesome responsibility that comes with sitting at this desk. We have a lot of fun, but we have this world to cover and the triumphs and tragedies that come along with it, and that's just a small taste of it. So what a ride it's been.